Greetings, being. This week we're going to review the whole concept of being present. Be present. We know that on a spiritual level, spiritual beings having human experience, the present moment is the only time and place anything ever happens. I want to focus today on just reminding us about the different ways that we can become present. And I wanted to start the conversation by saying something that I think is becoming rather radical, and that is that there is no virtue to this thing we call multitasking. This idea that we're somehow not succeeding or not really working hard enough if we're not doing 10 things at once. Or this badge of honor that we wear when we can demonstrate how many various different things we can do at once. Look at me, look how great I am, look how many things I can do at one time. When we're doing any specific thing, how much of our energy, our focus, our attention is on this thing. Now, of course, there are lots of things we do that don't require all of our attention. I happen to like to read the newspaper when I'm on the elliptical Stairmaster thing at the gym. Can I do both those things at the same time? I feel okay about that. So this isn't a complete, oh my God, I can only ever do one thing at a time. Chewing gum and walking, rock on, have at it. We're just talking about, in general, how much of my attention, my focus, my energy am I putting into this thing? And can I bring more of myself to it? Will this act benefit from more of my attention? So would my body benefit from spending 45 minutes doing the exercise and focusing my mind on all the different parts of my body that are benefiting from this exercise? Would that attention make the exercise more, more impactful? Would it have a greater impact on what I'm attempting to do, my intention for my physical health? Possibly, but again, this isn't really driving me nuts. It doesn't seem to really be detracting from my experience. So on one level, we need to each be the arbiters of what we're doing and consider whether or not what we're doing can benefit, again, from more attention. So multitasking, ask yourself, am I really doing so great here? Am I really attending to these 10 different things in the course of 15 minutes or half an hour or an hour? And are they each getting their due? Now, I also want to go over just a few ways in the course of our daily grinds. I don't like using that expression, but it's a colloquial one. But in the course of our daily life, joyful, joyous life experiences, there, that's better. What are things that we can do to bring ourselves back into the present moment? And when we do this, and I know you know this, or you'll start to notice it now, we really raise our vibrations because everything happens in the present. And when we fully engage it and when we bring ourselves to whatever it is we're doing, it's a richer, deeper, more meaningful experience. And if we find ourselves in present moment situations that are not so much to our liking, then that's a whole, like I said earlier, different discussion about setting intentions for what you prefer to experience in the future. So, getting present. Of course, there's meditation. Now, if you're a meditator, fantastic. You know already that the act of meditating is the act of practicing presence. Here I am, and there goes my mind, and now I'm bringing it back to the present moment, and there goes my mind, and I'm bringing it back to the present moment, and there goes my mind, and I'm bringing it back to the present moment. That practice will serve you in your life as well. The more you sit and do that and train your mind and get acclimated to bringing back to present, the easier it is to do in your everyday life, no matter what you're doing and who you're with. So certainly meditation is an obvious way to practice being present. And if you're not a meditator, or if you've kind of thought about meditating but haven't quite engaged it yet, let go of so many of the different ways to do it and the different practices, and am I doing it right, and what if I don't do it this way, and this person does it that way, and I just suck at it, and all those things. And just practice. You can just sit down for 5 minutes. Get quiet. Close your eyes. You don't have to, but it's usually easier. And just see what you can do about noticing your thoughts. See if you can not judge yourself for having thoughts. Of course you have them. They're automatic. You're going to have 60, 80,000 of them a day. So meditation is not on day one about eliminating those thoughts. It's about just being in that place, noticing them, and letting them go, and pulling your focus back to something, an idea, your breath, a thought in your mind, anything like that. Just practicing letting go of so much of the extraneous thinking, the automatic thinking. So meditation is one way. Certainly, of focusing on the breath, which many people do as a part of the meditative process, but it need not be only for that. Just focusing on the breath wherever you are, even if you're already midway through a conversation with somebody and you're off and running in your mind, just notice the breath. The moment that we take our attention and put it on something physical, it helps to bring us right into the present moment. Not because there's anything so special about the breath, although there are zillions of things that are special about the breath, but because I like to think of it this way: the body is always 100% in the present moment. Always. It's our minds that go elsewhere, but our physical bodies, present. So any type of focusing on the physical, on your body, through the breath or some other way, will help bring you into the present moment, connect you to here and now. And your body will say, well, hi, this is where I've always been. This is where I will always be. Come visit anytime. So focusing on the breath and or some aspect of your physical body, you might just sit there and start to study your hand. There's some lines, there's some skin, there's some dryness, there's whatever there is. The act of this attention on something that's here and now brings you into here and now. This hand, hello, he's just saying, hey, here I am. I'm always, always 100% in the present. By extension, we belong to the planet, not the planet to us. We are connected to it. The planet, Earth, nature, always, 100% of the time, in the present moment. So for those of you who are blessed to be able to live in and amongst a lot of nature, or can get to it, another clear, easy, universally accepted, if you will, way to stay present, to bring yourself into presence. And continuing on, just to go back to the body thing, sometimes it's nice, and to merge it with meditation, sometimes it's nice to simply sit there or even lie down and take stock of your body. Just start scanning it in your mind. Oh, there are my toes, and there are my feet, and there are the tops of my feet, and the bottoms of my feet, and oh, there's that bone in my ankle, and all the... I mean, I'm not a biologist, but you can go on and on and on in terms of noticing all the different things about your physiology, your body, inside, outside, how it feels here, how it feels there. Again, it's an extension of what we're talking about. But this idea of focusing on things that are already in the present, those two major things are physical bodies and the planet itself. And when we talk about nature, anything you like, water, trees, dirt, rocks, animals, Also your animals, that's another one. They are always in the present moment as well. They don't do what we did. So focusing on your little kitty cat or your little puppy dog or whatever you got going on there, whether they're your pets or animals in nature, another way to just bring oneself into the present moment. Another way that I really, really, really like, and that helps, I think, us, for all of us in the nitty-gritty of our daily lives, is the old gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude. When you can answer the question, what have I got right here, right now, in my life? And it doesn't have to mean in your physical presence in this moment, but when you can start, many of you might have heard me say I love to start with listing 25 things. So if you're kind of scattered, you're feeling out of sorts, you know you're just not present and you want to get present, give yourself 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and say, okay, what have I got right here now in my life that I can be grateful for? And get good at being able to list that many things. And if you can list 25 easily, fantastic, go for 50. And if you can list 50 easily, fantastic, go for 75. And of course these are numbers that I'm playing with, but you get the idea that there will never be a ceiling or a limit on how many things you can come up with to be grateful for. But having the intention to use the expression of gratitude to get present is what we're talking about right now. So having an attitude of gratitude, listing out things you have to be grateful for, is yet another way to help remain and get into a state of presence and remain there. So those are some of the highlights, some of the easiest, most accessible ways to be present. And again, just remembering the whole idea. So if I'm in the future, if I'm anxious, I'm thinking about the what-ifs of the future, I'm not being present. So if I'm feeling anxious, number one thing, I'm not in the present moment. Can't be. Because I'm only anxious because of all the what-ifs that I'm thinking about. So bringing us back, how can I get there? I can express gratitude, I can focus on my body, I can focus on nature, I can focus on animals, those kinds of things. If you happen to be in a spell where you were feeling kind of depressed, most likely it's because you're thinking about something in the past. So again, depression, anxiety, ways to immediately know I'm not being present. Every single thing in the world teaches me that I'm supposed to be present. So what do I do? How can I get to this place where everything happens? And finally, an intention, a simple intention to be present, more often, however you want to phrase that intention for yourself. You know, you might be picking up the phone or going to meet somebody, and you might just set an intention. My intention for this time is to simply be present. Or you might be getting ready to leave the house. You might just remind yourself, I'm going to set an intention now to be present for the entire time between now and when I get to where I'm going. Setting intentions to be present for short periods of time is another way to really help practice getting back into this space, this beautiful, luscious, delicious space where everything happens. So I hope that some of these ideas are helpful to you. I am presenting them as reminders because I doubt that any of this sounds new to you. If it does, fantastic. However, I offer them, like I say, as reminders to be present. The only time and place anything ever happens. As always, it's a delight to be with you. Let me hear from you if you have any specific questions you'd like to have addressed in this particular way, or any questions, comments about this message this week. And until next time,